Hiya, Zarjas1991 here, or Scott to those who know me. This is a second driving video. I'm on a journey trying to improve as a driver, and so this is just a short driving video to see how I'm getting on, for the benefit of those in the Advanced Driving Forum on PH. Before I start, I'll show off my PH keyring. I haven't got one of those, they're fantastic, very well made. So, currently I'm in a lay-by, as is fairly obvious, and this is just ahead of, or just outside of Wigston, and I'm going to be going out on the A5199, which used to be the A50, and then turning off onto whatever random road comes my way, and have some fun down there. So I'm going to be attempting some sort of commentary. I've not done this before, so it might be good, it might not be. Hopefully the driving's okay. So we'll move on. We are facing the wrong way as we do this, so I'll be turning right at the exit of this lay-by. This is actually the old road, for anyone who knows, round here, before they built the housing estate on the right and moved the main road. It's a big lay-by. Looks clear both ways. We have to watch, there's a bit of a brow of a hill. People can come over that quite quickly. It's supposed to be a 40 zone. It's not always stuck to. I do know some of these roads, so I do know some of what's coming up. Double white lines here. You do get people overtaking along this bit. Ambulance up ahead, but it's not an emergency ambulance. And coming up is a roundabout that they've put in for another housing estate. And I happen to know here you have to be quite careful, because you do end up with traffic coming from the opposite direction, and it almost looks like you're going to go into them. We don't signal right here because it's not really right, but I've been caught out so many times by people knocking about that sometimes it causes issues if you don't. At one time the road, only a few years ago, went straight through there. So we're in a 30 zone at the moment. Small sort of bridge here, it's not really a humpback bridge. And we are approaching a 50 zone. And now we've lost the double white line, so it is possible to overtake with care along here. I have sometimes. There are not that many overtaking opportunities on this road, and it also is often populated by nutters, for want of a better phrase. We've got the 50 repeater signs. Quite a lot of farm entrances along here. You do have to be careful if you are overtaking, and as the sign on the left tells us, horses. I can't say actually I've ever seen a horse on this road, but a lot of the roads running off it, you do get horses, particularly in the summer. The main reason for that sign is there is a stable block along here, on the right. Junction off to the left. This is a bit of a black spot for people just pulling out when they're turning right coming towards me, and also people pulling out from the left. The view is not good in either direction. And then we have another one on the right here. People also pull out from here for exactly the same reasons. So it is worthwhile drop the speed a little bit just to account for that. So we can get back to 50. Looks like we have some sort of, might be a camper van. Don't think it's a horse box. We had a horse box in the last video. Now I'm not overtaking or attempting to overtake the person in front, because we are going to be turning off not too far along here. They're speeding up a little bit now, but they were stuck down at about 40. I think that's a camper van. This road goes all the way out to a place called Husbands Bosworth, for anyone that's familiar with it. If I was going to stay on this road and the vehicle in front was a bit of a dawdler, then there are opportunities further along to get past, but we won't necessarily need to do that. Repeat the signs again. I don't really know why this road is 50. It didn't used to be. In front of me is varying its speed quite a bit for no reason. It isn't actually braking. I'm just conscious that we are back down to 40 again, and although there are vehicles up ahead, I'm not fully understanding why he keeps changing speeds. On the left and a bend coming up. There is a vehicle waiting. Again, this road is a bit notorious for people just going. Double white lines here, well, now broken doubles. We are back to 50 again. This is actually a spot, I believe, where you can sometimes go. I'm really not going to, because the left turn that we're going to be taking is not that far away. As you can see, there's rather a lot of traffic coming the other way anyhow, but this is a point where you can sometimes go as we round this bend here. Husbands Bosworth straight ahead. It is some way distant from here. There is a particular crossroads which in itself is quite notorious. I think that may be coming up. Yes. So, going to signal. Unfortunately, our variable speed limit vehicle is going the same way. Now we do have an opportunity along here if it is clear. I'm certain that it is. I just need a clear line of sight. There is a turning on the right here. Take that chance. So we're now at a steady 60 as it's an NSL. A tractor coming the other way. Still plenty of tractors about with predictable queue of traffic behind. I'm sure at some point on this drive we may run into the same thing. Crossroad, T-junction here, road from the left. As you can see, there are overtaking opportunities on this road. particular. I'm just enjoying a drive around. I do this a lot. So we have quite a queue of traffic at this junction, which is a little bit unusual for around here. But we are coming into the village of, I believe it's Saddington. So we'll just have to be patient while we get out of here. I don't think I've ever seen this junction like this before. I don't think there's anything particularly challenging about it, so I'm not sure quite what's going on. Saddington has a 20 limit. I don't think it's particularly enforced. When they are in actual villages, I'm quite okay to honour that. There's a lot of traffic around here. I'm being let out, which is very kind. And we will go through Saddington. It's not a very long village. The roads through a lot of these Leicestershire villages are not wide, as we can see here. More parked vehicles ahead. And the road bends quite sharply to the right here. And there is also a pub on the left up ahead, which if you come down here in the evening you do have to be conscious of, because there's often people sat outside and they can do unpredictable things when they are in the drink, so to speak. Just pause here to allow this vehicle to come up the hill. A sharp bend to the left coming up. And now we leave the 20 zone and go straight back to NSL. Cyclists coming up towards me on the right, plenty of room for them. Sensibly avoiding potholes. There are a lot of potholes on the edge of the road around these sort of roads. Been a long time since I did any cycling, but I wouldn't be very keen on it around here, I have to say. I have to watch here. The road gets too narrow for two vehicles. You do get a good line of sight though as to whether anything is coming the other way. A gated road off to the left there. There's quite a few of those around here. Not really seen them anywhere else. And you can do 60 along here. I don't necessarily think it's always advisable. The road is, although it is wide enough obviously for two, it is quite narrow and people do unpredictable things along here. And many of the similar roads. Plus you do have, as we can see here, odd houses, farm entrances, various other things, all present quite the hazard. I don't know how well it captures it on the video here, but although, as you can see, although the road is wide, it's not that wide. Bend to the right coming up, and there we go, somebody coming the other way. I actually had, when I was coming back from the PH Sunday service on Sunday, funnily enough, I had somebody in an Audi come towards me like that car just did, and he'd actually misjudged the bend. It wasn't on this road, but it was on a very similar one, and he'd misjudged the bend in a series of S-bends, and had I not had my wits about me to avoid him, I had to take avoidance action to just keep out of his way. Then there would have been a head-on collision. Now I'm going to take an overtake on this chap here. There we go. I have to say I didn't think we'd get an opportunity along here, but we did. and I'm always happy to take it. We are approaching a reduced speed limit. We need to go down to 30, and this is Moseley. And actually it's a staggered limit because we're now going down to 20. Again, these are not particularly enforced, but I am not one for hurtling through small villages. I don't think this one has a school, but we have just had school chucking out time, and I'm not minded to be mowing down kids, or adults for that matter, so I don't have a problem in this sort of scenario. The road bends again to the left. We have somebody coming towards us. Make sure we give them plenty of room. They've in fact almost stopped for us. We've got a camper van and a vehicle behind them, and we do in fact have a horse. In fact, yeah, just a single horse. It's a horse and a dog. I did mention that you often get horses around here. And there's a horse coming the other way, ideal for this video. The only thing to possibly do here is to hang back. Very horsey country, this is. Now the other horse is pulling in for me, which I'm very grateful for. I will always accommodate horses in any way necessary, obviously. And I think they're going to pull in as well. Maybe not. Really want to avoid startling horses for obvious reasons, so it's very, very, very slow through here. It's not an ideal scenario with a horse both sides of you, because they can be spooked not just by the car, but by the other horse, and that's the last thing we want. So we'll wait till we're well clear of them, and we'll speed up a bit. Road is curving off to the right again. And then we get quite a sharp bend to the left, and then I think we're clear of restrictions not long past that point. People coming the other way, there are parked vehicles, you do have to be so careful. And now we approach the NSL. We will wait until we get there. And off we go. Definitely had my horse quota for the day. Entrances and farm entrances along some of these roads, and we have another warning sign about horses, and we have another sign warning us of a turning to the left, and there is somebody coming out of it. Just being careful. Don't know if they've seen me or not, you never do. The road getting quite narrow here. Very much clear ahead. Plenty of cows up in the distance. Hopefully they are in the field. Bridge, warning sign, and S-bends coming up, so nearly got caught out by this on the, or not this one, but a similar one on the previous video, and I'm familiar with this one in actual fact. And you do have to be extraordinarily careful on here, because unfortunately many people aren't. And there we go, we have an entrance of some sort to the right. Another farm entrance both sides here. The road is going to bend over to the right, just ahead. More farm entrances, they literally are everywhere along here. And of course this road you do have to be careful, it bends around to the right again. If your line of sight isn't great and somebody's hurtling the other way, you don't want to be in a sticky situation. Hence these bits of it where it's not as clear up ahead, we are going a bit slower. We're at about 45 at the moment. That's another pheasant. Pheasants and horses, it's more like a wildlife show, this. Quite a bouncy bit of road, and we have a tractor coming the other way. Unlikely that we're all going to fit, so I'm going to just pull up, and I think there's enough room for him to get past. And there's a van at the other end. I don't know if he's waiting for us or turning in, but we're going to go anyway. And then we have a junction coming up ahead. I don't know if he's actually waiting for me or whether he's just stopped, but thank him anyway, just in case. I think he has actually just stopped. So we have a T-junction. Well, it is a T-junction, but it's a funny one because we have priority. We're just going to go round to the left. If you're coming out of that the other way, so that you actually don't have right of way, you have to be so careful there, because people coming in the direction I just have don't always understand the priorities. We are back in the 30 zone. I think this is Theddingworth, and we are approaching, I happen to know, the T-junction on the main road. I've got a nice little circular route that I do here. And out we go. This is quite a pretty village. It's a very, it's an A road through here, I think. It's a busy road, let's put it that way, whatever the classification is. Might be a B, I'm not sure, but it's busy, and I'm not really sure living along here is the most pleasant experience from a traffic perspective. But if you live off to the right. So we are bending to the right, we've got double white lines, but we are also at that point, we're leaving the village and we're going back from a 30 to NSL. And this road actually goes to Market Harborough. It's effectively Lutterworth to Market Harborough. We've got a bend to the right, and then we quickly bend to the left again, and then we'll be straight for a bit. We are in NSL, no reason not to be doing 60 along here, so we will. Double white lines or solid lines ahead due to the bend and the blind brow of the hill junction there to the right, very minor road. We're on double whites now. into a 30 as we approach the village of Aluminum, and we will actually turn off here. We're still on double whites at the moment. Former railway bridge just going would have gone above us just there, and we're still in no stopping. That's the end of it there, actually ends here. Lots of side roads off here onto various modern housing estates. Village itself is very nice, but we won't be going through it. We will be turning off just ahead where we can probably see these vehicles waiting to turn. This junction appears to flummox a lot of people, and I don't really know why, because there's nothing particularly unusual about it. But there's often a queue there of people that seem to be struggling to get out. I often do this loop in reverse, so I come out that way. We can get past this parked car on the left with plenty of room. We may have to pull up behind the next one, depending on what's coming the other way. We're still in a 30 zone, we need to be conscious of that. And we're just about to enter NSL. Coming the other way over the brow of the hill. We have a pedestrian on the right. I've just eased off a little bit past the pedestrian. Not really any great threat when they're on the other side of the road, but I'm conscious of startling them. So we can open up to the 60 now. There's somebody pulling out ahead. Right, there they go, plenty of room for them to do that, so no issue. And I believe there's some sort of minor roadworks up ahead where they're building a new prison. There's a new prison. It's an existing prison and they're building a new one next to it, I think, is what's going on. Foxton, I think, is the name. I think that entrance was one of the side entrances, I think. Probably hear the car bumping a lot. There's a lot of dips and potholes on the left of the road here. It's quite common now. The road is falling away. You have to be conscious of that, especially when there are cyclists around about. We're approaching a T-junction. We've got to turn right. We drop to 50 here. I'm not entirely sure why it does. It's a Gartrey's, the prison. I got the name wrong. Typical. So we're clear. You do have to watch this a little bit because people do hurtle, and there is a slight blind spot on the brow of the hill as you look to the right. And there's a parked car here, but no issues getting past that. Nothing coming the other way. That is a school there as well on the left, so at school chucking out time, that can be a place where you have to be careful. So we get a temporary speed limit up here where the roadworks are for the new prison. It goes down to 40, and then I think it does eventually drop to 30. It does keep changing. There were temporary traffic lights here for quite some time. So we'll just be careful along here because it's a weekday and there is often movement of vehicles, construction vehicles along here. So we're down to 30 as I expected. No temporary traffic lights at the moment. I think the work on the road is mostly done, but they'll keep the limit in while all the construction traffic moves around. I don't know how long that goes on for. And this road will bring us out soon, well, onto another road that then brings us out onto the A6, which is near Market Harborough in this case. So we're still at 30 here. You can probably see from the temporary signs they've got at regular intervals. We now go back to 40, and then we will move now to 50, which is the standard speed limit for this road for whatever reason. So off we go. You can see it's clear and straight. Why it's 50, I don't know. There are some bends towards the end. In fact, coming up on the left is the sign warning of them. I've seen people get a little bit caught out on these if they've blitzed it down this stretch. You do have to be careful because the bend just goes on and on and on. And then just when it stops going on and on and on, it goes the other way. Also, it's a bit of a flood spot, that is. I've seen it flooded a few times. So you have to be careful, you never quite know what you're going to get. Coming up to a T-junction, this is quite a busy road. We stay in 50 at the moment. We're going to go left. This road comes out from Market Harbour, which is to the right. And I think we get an NSL for a brief period of time. Yes, there we go. We're just hitting the NSL now. We'll make the most of it because there is a big roundabout at the end with a set of lock gates in the middle of it. Now my drive usually involves going across those lock gates, across the roundabout where the lock gates are. But I think for the purposes of people watching this, I think it's probably long enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go left at this roundabout. It's quite a major roundabout, this. Gets very, very busy at times. There is a services, a hotel, a McDonald's and a garden centre all at this spot. It has 5 exits as well, albeit one of them is to the services. And this is the A6 coming across here. So we will pull onto the roundabout. And off we go. And I believe there is a lay-by. Not too far along here. Indeed, here it comes. Into the lay-by we go. It's actually is the old road, this again. I'm guessing from before they put the roundabout in. Although it does look very modern, I think it has been improved a bit, but this is the route of the old road. And there we are. Thank you for watching. If you've persevered this far, be kind to me. This is Zarjas 1991, Scott, and I'll see you next time.